This is the truth about wealth and success. The world does not hand out greatness. It does not casually reward half-hearted effort. It does not bend for the man or woman who simply wishes. The world bows only to those who demand from life with absolute conviction, those who refuse to be ordinary. This is the truth about wealth and success. It begins not in your bank account, not in the economy, not in your education, but in the invisible dominion of the mind. Every empire, every fortune, every revolution of industry was first a whisper in the imagination of someone who dared to believe they could bend reality to match their vision. Thomas Edison did not stumble into light. He willed it into existence through thousands of failures that would have broken the average man. Andrew Carnegie was not born into privilege. He was born into poverty, into a family that knew struggle, so well it seemed like destiny. But he refused that destiny. He redefined it. Henry Ford was laughed at when he envisioned a car for the common man, but while others mocked, he built. While others doubted, he dared. Understand this: wealth and success are not accidents. They are not the rewards of luck or chance. They are the deliberate creations of a mind that refuses limitation. And here is where most people fail. They spend their lives envying the results, while despising the discipline it takes to get there. We live in a world that wants the fruit without planting the seed. People want the mansion, the car, the freedom, but not the years of sacrifice, the nights of relentless focus, the mornings when the body aches but the vision refuses to sleep. Wealth does not come to those who wish. It comes to those who prepare. The soil of your mind is the richest territory you will ever own. Plant weeds in it, doubt, fear, excuses, and it will suffocate you. Plant courage, vision, faith, and discipline, and you will harvest empires. This is not poetry. This is law. Napoleon Hill called it the law of success, the definite chief aim, the burning desire that transforms invisible thought into tangible reality. But here is what they won't tell you. The price of success is loneliness. It is sacrifice. It is walking away from the crowd and standing in the silence of your own conviction. The road is narrow because few are willing to pay that toll. They want comfort, and comfort has never built a legacy. When you set out to create wealth, the first battle is not against the world. It is against yourself. Against the voice that says, you can't. Against the habits that beg for distraction. Against the weakness that prefers pleasure over progress. If you cannot conquer yourself, you cannot conquer anything else. Every man and woman of greatness knew this. Lincoln rose from a log cabin with less than a year of formal schooling, but he mastered himself, his discipline, his words, until they forged a presidency that preserved a nation. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination, that his ideas were impossible, yet he held a vision so vivid that it created worlds millions now walk through in wonder. These people understood. The external world is merely a reflection of the internal one. So ask yourself, what do you truly believe about wealth and success? Not what you say out loud, but what you whisper to yourself in silence. Do you believe you are worthy? Do you believe it is possible for you? Or do you carry the poison of doubt, passed down by those who never dared themselves? Belief is the starting line. Without it, you have already lost. With it, you ignite forces so powerful they bend circumstance in your favor. When you believe with absolute clarity, obstacles become stepping stones. Rejections become redirections. Failure becomes refinement. Wealth is not about money. Money is the echo. Wealth is about mastery, mastery of self, mastery of time, mastery of vision. Success is not about applause. Applause fades. Success is about becoming the kind of person who cannot be defeated, who rises regardless of circumstance, who turns adversity into advantage. This is the truth. Every fortune began with a decision. Not a half-hearted wish, not a vague hope, but a decision so powerful it burned bridges behind it. A decision that said, I will not retreat. I will not stop. I will not live and die average. That decision reshapes everything. It sharpens your mind, directs your energy, rewires your habits, and magnetizes opportunities. So hear me now. If you are waiting for the perfect time, it will never come. If you are waiting for permission, no one will give it. The gate to success is locked from the inside. You must open it with your own belief, your own work, your own fire. The world belongs to those who decide. Most people will never experience true wealth or true success, not because they lack the ability, but because they surrender to excuses long before they surrender to the work. They cling to comfort as if it were life itself, and in doing so, they trade their destiny for a handful of distractions. They wait for motivation instead of cultivating discipline. They want the crown, but they reject the cross. The truth is brutal, but it will set you free. Wealth and success demand a price, and the price is heavy. But the reward is freedom. Freedom from the chains of mediocrity. Freedom to create, to choose, to give, to live fully awake. This is the prize worth every sacrifice. Do not deceive yourself into believing wealth is about greed. That is the story told by those who have never achieved it. Wealth is about expansion, expanding what you can do, expanding who you can help, expanding the horizon of what is possible. A man without wealth is a prisoner of limitation. A man with wealth is a builder of vision. Which one will you be? The process begins in silence. The process begins when you sit with yourself and declare, "This is my vision, and I will not betray it." Clarity is the compass. Without it, you are a ship lost at sea, tossed by every wave of opinion and every storm of doubt. But with clarity, every obstacle becomes a test of devotion. Every delay becomes preparation. Think of the great builders of history. Carnegie stood in steel mills hotter than hellfire, yet his clarity told him he was not just forging iron, he was forging an empire. Ford faced ridicule when he insisted the automobile would transform the world, but his clarity allowed him to see beyond the laughter of his critics. Edison was blinded by failure again and again, yet his clarity told him the light already existed. It was simply waiting for him to unlock it. You see, wealth and success are not accidents. They are born of vision, and vision is born of clarity. A man without vision lives by chance. A man with vision lives by design. And once vision is born, discipline becomes the guardrail. Vision without discipline is a dream destined to die. Discipline is the fire in the forge, the unseen hand that molds potential into achievement. Discipline is the choice to rise before dawn, the choice to say no to distraction, the choice to press on when others quit. Look at the life of Napoleon Hill himself. He spent decades interviewing the titans of industry, compiling their principles, often broke, often ridiculed, yet disciplined enough to finish the work that would change millions of lives. His discipline transformed his struggle into the blueprint of success itself. You will not rise to greatness by accident. You will not stumble into success by convenience. You will rise because you decided that your life will mean more, that your time will matter, that your vision will not be silenced. But even with vision and discipline, you will face resistance. And it is here that most surrender. They mistake resistance for rejection, forgetting that the greater the dream, the greater the test. Adversity is not proof that you should stop. It is proof that you are on the path. Diamonds are born of pressure, warriors are forged in battle, and legends are carved out of struggle. Abraham Lincoln was crushed by failure after failure, defeated in elections, burdened by depression, surrounded by doubt. Yet his vision for a united nation was greater than his pain, and his resilience carried him into history's immortal halls. He teaches us this: success is not the absence of failure, it is the conquest of it. Do not fear failure. Fear the habit of quitting. Fear the poison of excuses. Fear the comfort that lulls you into mediocrity. Failure is the tuition of greatness. Pay it gladly and learn. And when the storms come, when the nights feel endless, when no one believes in you, remember this truth. Belief is not a luxury, belief is your weapon. Every man who rose from obscurity to wealth, from anonymity to influence, carried belief like a shield. Carnegie believed when poverty mocked him. Disney believed when banks slammed their doors. Oprah Winfrey believed when every statistic told her she would fail. Belief is the spark, discipline is the fuel, resilience is the engine. Together, they create the unstoppable force called success. So, what is the truth about wealth and success? It is not in wishing. It is not in waiting. It is not in blaming. The truth is in the decision to take command of your mind, to clarify your vision, to forge discipline, and to embrace the struggle that molds you into who you must become. The truth is that life will not give you what you ask. It will give you what you demand, what you earn, what you refuse to quit pursuing. And the world will not remember your excuses. It will not weep for the hours you wasted. It will not carve your reasons into stone. The world remembers only those who dared, those who built, those who gave everything to their vision and demanded that life respond. The truth about wealth and success is simple. It belongs to the bold. This is the truth about wealth and success. The bold are not born, they are built. They are shaped in the furnace of decision, hammered by adversity, and sharpened by discipline. When you look at the lives of the world's greatest achievers, you will see not perfection but persistence. Not a straight path, but a path littered with obstacles they refused to let define them. The truth about wealth and success is that you must become someone new to receive it. The version of you that is lazy, distracted, and afraid cannot hold the weight of greatness. Wealth is not given, it is entrusted. Success does not come to the weak-willed, because they cannot carry it. It comes to the one who has proven worthy by transforming into the kind of person who can sustain it. Look closely at history. Rockefeller did not begin as a titan of oil. He began as a clerk, counting pennies with meticulous care, disciplining himself to live below his means, studying relentlessly, preparing for opportunities long before they appeared. That habit of precision and discipline became the foundation of his empire. Steve Jobs, a man expelled from the very company he built, returned not bitter but sharper, wiser, more resilient, and in that refinement he reshaped not just technology but culture itself. Understand this, success is never about what you get. It is always about who you become. Money will come and go. Titles will fade. But the strength, the discipline, the courage you develop in the pursuit of greatness, these are treasures no recession can steal, no thief can take, no market can erase. But to become this person, you must confront the hardest truth of all. No one is coming to save you. Not your parents, not the government, not luck, not fate. If you are waiting for a rescue, you will wait until your last breath. The power has always been, and will always be, within your own hands. And this is where most people falter. They look outward instead of inward. They beg for opportunity instead of building value. They chase shortcuts instead of mastering fundamentals. They wait for inspiration instead of generating discipline. This is why wealth escapes them. This is why success mocks them. Life rewards those who assume responsibility, who stand up and declare, "If it is to be, it is up to me." Responsibility is the birthplace of freedom. When you take ownership of your life, every failure, every mistake, every delay, you gain power. When you blame, you lose it. Responsibility transforms victims into victors, spectators into creators. The man who blames cannot change. The man who owns his life can change everything. Andrew Carnegie once said, "Take away my factories, my railroads, my wealth, and leave me with my people, and I will have it all back again." Why? Because wealth is not in possessions. It is in the mind, in the character, in the vision of the individual who creates it. Wealth is transferable only to the one who has become wealth in spirit and discipline first. And here lies another truth: success is not speed. In a world obsessed with shortcuts and hacks, people forget that the greatest structures ever built took time. Rome was not raised in a weekend. Cathedrals stood generations in construction. Wealth that lasts is forged slowly, methodically, relentlessly. The bamboo tree takes 5 years underground before it ever breaks the surface, but when it does, it rises 90 feet in weeks. Success is like this: years of unseen effort, and then the world calls it overnight. Do not be deceived by the mirage of instant success. Fast wealth collapses faster. True success, true wealth, is a foundation carved in stone: patience, discipline, resilience. But patience does not mean passivity. Do not confuse waiting with wasting. While others are idle, you are preparing. While others are entertaining themselves, you are sharpening your craft. While others complain about the economy, you are creating value the economy cannot ignore. Patience is not inactivity, it is preparation multiplied by faith. And through it all, you must hold gratitude like armor. Gratitude transforms struggle into strength, scarcity into opportunity, delay into wisdom. Gratitude is the alchemy of wealth. It multiplies what you have and attracts what you lack. The ungrateful man repels success, for he sees only what is missing. The grateful man magnetizes it, for he sees abundance even in his lack, and that mindset creates momentum. Consider Thomas Edison again. Thousands of failures, yet when asked about them, he replied, "I have not failed. I have simply found 10,000 ways that will not work." That is gratitude disguised as resilience, the ability to see gain where others see loss, to see progress where others see pain. And this is the mindset that creates legends. Not perfection, not privilege, but a relentless decision to see every challenge as training, every setback as preparation, every obstacle as the raw material of success. Wealth and success are not accidents. They're a formula written in discipline, responsibility, vision, resilience, and gratitude. And anyone willing to pay the price can live it. But make no mistake, the price is everything. You cannot cling to mediocrity and grasp greatness at the same time. You cannot serve comfort and serve vision simultaneously. You must choose. And when you choose vision, you must be willing to walk alone, to be misunderstood, to be mocked, to be doubted, until the results speak so loudly that the world can no longer deny you. This is the truth. Wealth and success do not belong to the lucky, they belong to the relentless. Relentlessness is the great divider. It is the difference between those who almost made it and those who leave their mark on history. Everyone begins with hope, with enthusiasm, with dreams, but most will let life's friction grind that fire into dust. Relentlessness is what keeps the flame alive when the winds of failure howl against you. Think of the gold rush. Thousands rushed into the mountains with picks and shovels, their eyes filled with visions of fortune. But when the earth demanded more sweat, when days passed with nothing but broken rock, most abandoned the mines and went home empty. Yet a few kept digging, and it was those few, the relentless, that struck veins of gold while others carried only regret. Success is like that mine. Everyone begins the dig, but only the relentless endure until they hit the treasure. Wealth is reserved for those who can outlast discouragement, who can stand up after every defeat, who refuse to let fatigue be the end of the story. And relentlessness is not loud. It is not always dramatic. Often it is quiet, invisible. Those extra hours of study when the world is asleep, those 100 rejections answered with one more attempt, that single step taken again and again when the body screams to stop. Relentlessness is ordinary effort done with extraordinary consistency. Consider Colonel Sanders, a man in his 60s carrying a recipe and a dream. He was rejected more than 1,000 times before someone agreed to believe in his chicken. 1,000 rejections would have buried the average man, but he persisted. That persistence became an empire. Imagine if he had quit at rejection number 100, or 500, or 900. The truth about wealth and success is this. Most people quit inches away from gold. The mind will play tricks on you. It will whisper that the effort is too much, that the results are too small, that the dream is too far. It will tempt you with comfort, with distractions, with the soft embrace of mediocrity. But understand this, the mind is both your enemy and your greatest ally. If you conquer it, you conquer the world. If you submit to it, you remain a prisoner forever. And this is why self-mastery is the root of all success. You can build businesses, you can accumulate wealth, you can rise in power, but if you cannot master yourself, you will lose it all. History is littered with men who conquered kingdoms, but could not conquer their desires. Wealth without self-mastery is destruction waiting to happen. So discipline yourself, not just in action, but in thought. Guard your mind like a fortress. Do not let envy, doubt, fear, or jealousy plant their seeds within you. Feed your mind daily with vision, with gratitude, with belief. Read the words of the greats, study the patterns of success, saturate your imagination with images of the life you are building. For what the mind dwells upon, it attracts. This is not mysticism, it is law. You attract into your life the conditions that mirror your dominant thoughts. A man who thinks only of fear will find reasons to fear. A man who thinks only of opportunity will find doors where others see walls. The greatest wealth-building tool in the world is not your job, your business, or your investments. It is your mind. Master it, and you master everything. But mastering the mind requires courage, for courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to act despite it. Every man or woman who has achieved greatness stood face to face with fear, and still they moved forward. The Wright brothers faced ridicule for chasing the sky. Elon Musk faced bankruptcy while reaching for Mars. Rosa Parks faced arrest for refusing to surrender her seat. Fear was there, but courage chose to walk through it. The truth is, courage is the doorway to every breakthrough. Without it, you remain trapped in the life you know. With it, you step into the unknown where success is forged. You cannot wait for courage to arrive. You must summon it, command it, act before you feel it, and let momentum carry you into strength. And let us speak of momentum. Momentum is the silent multiplier. Once you begin, once you stack one disciplined act upon another, once you turn daily consistency into a habit, momentum begins to work in your favor. At first, the weight feels unbearable. But as days compound into weeks, weeks into months, the same effort that once exhausted you now empowers you. Success is built not in single massive actions, but in the compounding effect of relentless, disciplined steps. Think of compound interest, the quiet force Einstein called the eighth wonder of the world. Money left to grow multiplies exponentially. So too does discipline. One disciplined day may not seem powerful, but 1,000 disciplined days can remake a life, transform a destiny, and carve out a fortune. So do not despise small beginnings. Do not look down on small wins. Celebrate every step, for every step compounds. Your greatest enemy is not failure, it is stagnation. Move forward, even if by inches, and soon the horizon will shift before you. This is the truth about wealth and success. It is built in silence, tested in struggle, and revealed in time. Those who chase instant results fall away. Those who stay relentless, disciplined, and courageous rise slowly at first, and then all at once.